Good evening. Welcome to True Crime in Java Chat. This is Kelly with another true crime case. We are coming from Festus, Missouri this time. I am not drinking Java Mama at the moment, but earlier I was drinking Tilt-A-Swirl. Tilt-A-Swirl was from the Mama's Picks in August, which were the amusement park themed coffees. And it is the toffee, butter toffee flavor, and it's so good. Okay, this will be up early. This is Wednesday, the 12th. And this will be up early for my Patreon and Spotify premium subscribers. And it will drop on all platforms on Friday, the 14th. So today I'm covering the case of Larry Wayne Holman. My sources are Oxygen, MyLeaderPaper.com, and FindAGrave.com. Larry was born December 30th of 1955. He loved deer hunting. He was very, very outdoorsy. He went to church and he worked at a chemical plant. Now, he was always working through the night, like night shift, like, graveyard shift. And with his hunting activities, he wasn't home much. So he was a busy man. Now, when he was 28, he met Tammy, who was 16. Tammy went to church. Their families went to the same church. She graduated high school in 1986. She was 18 when she graduated. That October, she married Larry Holman. So they didn't waste any time. I mean, she got married now. They did have a son, Josh, and a daughter, but I did read that Larry had two daughters. So I don't know if he had a daughter from somebody else or another marriage. I didn't read that he had been married before. So Tammy, when they were at church, there was a man named Charlie Miller. Now, he was 47 years old. And they met again at church. He was Larry's best friend. And I had to think, wait a minute, 47. And I wasn't sure if that was right. But that's what I got. Now, when I try to look him up, I can't find a mugshot or anything of him. So I'm having a hard time, so I don't know if I'll be able to get his image in the photo dump in Facebook, Instagram, and Patreon. So he also went to church with a couple, and he was infatuated with Tammy. Charlie Miller was. He was always around the family. Now, he never told Larry about it. But he did ask his wife for a divorce. And he actually sent Tammy flowers and came over all the time when Larry was not at work. He even gave Tammy money because I guess her life wasn't what it should be, I guess, according to her or him. I don't know if she asked for the money, but to me, I would think that she did, but I'm not sure. He also helped her out with anything she needed around the house. And this is, and Larry knew that he was coming over. I mean, he was close to the family. But he went on a hunting trip one weekend. And Charlie started making the moves on her. But she told him no. And then she told Larry about it. And he knew Charlie, like I said, was always coming over and even calling Tammy on the phone. He was upset about it, and they both agreed that Charlie had to stop coming around. Plus, he stopped working through the night and switched up his schedule so he could be home more. Now, so, everything was going fine. Larry was in a much better mood. The family seemed to be, getting along great. Then, November 21st, 2000, and that had to have been around Thanksgiving, which is what we're coming up on, which is, I don't know, to me, things like this, when they happen around the holidays, just really, I think, make it worse on families and friends, and it's just horrible. But Tammy called Larry's work at the chemical plant, and she said he did not come home after work, and she was worried about him. So she said that he was supposed to go look for an area to go on a hunting trip with his. He usually would go on a hunting trip with his brother Randy, and he would always look for a place first to try to see if it was, a good place where there was a lot of deer. And she said he was supposed to do that, but he should have been home by now. So the security guard that took the call, Tammy went. The security guard went to see if Larry was around, because at Tammy's request, he's like, I'll look around, see if I can find. Well, there was a field, like a wooded area in this field where the security guy found, and it must not have been that far from where he worked, and for him to actually go out in this this field. But he found the car. He was driving, and he found the car, and Larry was inside of it. The back windshield was shattered, and a gunshot was at the back of Larry's head. He was in the car, dead. The car was in drive, and Larry's foot was on the brake, and he still had a straw in his mouth like he was chewing on. Oh, gosh, I just cannot imagine. They first think it was a hunting accident. That's what they thought. The vehicle was tan. They thought, well, maybe someone saw it and thought it was an animal. And because that area was a regular shooting area. It was a private property, but there were all kinds of casings scattered around the land. Like people would go do their shooting, like makeshift shooting, which I have done. Like we have friends that have an area in their yard where you can go shooting and set up targets and stuff. And that was the type of property it was. Well, Tammy was notified by phone that Larry was deceased. And she cried all night, according to her son, Josh. So she was upset all night. And the bullet came from a .243 caliber gun. Larry's brother, Randy, told police about a hunting trip that they went on. And they went on this hunting trip before, and there was a strange guy in camouflage watching them. And he had a hat on. He was from a distance, so Randy didn't recognize who he was. They would separate. Randy and Larry would separate sometimes when they would go hunting. So Randy was like, Larry wasn't around him when he saw the guy. But he went up to Larry, found him, and Larry said that, I got to get the names right, sorry. Larry said that they had to get going. And Randy asked why. He said a bullet had just whizzed by his head. And they just thought it was like from another deer hunter who wasn't a professional hunter, And they were like, we better get going. We don't want to end up getting accidentally shot. Randy brought up that there was a guy he saw, that was another hunter that he saw in camouflage, and Larry said he never saw that guy. So Larry never saw him. Otherwise, he would have maybe recognized who he was if he knew him. So Randy, of course, thought that Charlie was the one who killed him. He was aware of Charlie's infatuation with Tammy, and even saw him following Tammy once at a nearby park. Now, he said he told Larry about Charlie, and Charlie said, yeah, he already knew it, and he trusted Tammy. Also, Charlie had just gotten a Browning .243 rifle. He bought it from a friend, and Charlie was not a hunter. It's like, why buy a rifle like this if you're not going to go hunting with it? So police go talk to Charlie. Of course, he denies everything. They did run a ballistics report to see if it had been the gun to kill Larry, and I never found out I never found out the results of that. If they found out from the ballistics, I think they did. They don't really know if it really, you can't really tell if it actually kills somebody, but I think you can tell if it's been fired around a certain time. And I think you could find out what the bullet went through. It, like, when he killed him, it went through the glass, the windshield. And I don't know. Well, of course you can tell that. I'm not sure exactly about the ballistics report, but if it came from that gun. But so I'm not a scientist, so I don't want to sit here and go through all the different things that it can tell. But Tammy moved in a new guy a week after Larry died. Now, this was a rumor going around that she had moved in a new guy. And police wanted to find out who it was. So they go to the house. It was not Charlie. It was some guy named Tim Smith. They dated in high school. He started coming around right after Larry died. And he also started staying overnight. Now, the children are still home. He starts staying overnight before he moves in. And then, then he moves in. And this Tim started acting like that house was his and that he ruled it. Because Randy would stop by and there was Tim, shoes off, feet up, not even saying hello to Randy and basically acting like a prick, which maybe he was. I don't know. So then Tammy was on the police radar after this. They're like, wait a minute. And I'm over here thinking, are you stupid? Why would you move a guy in your house a week after your husband died? Like, I don't know. It's like, why would you even do that? That is just so stupid. So, Tim Smith was questioned by police. He acted really surprised. He had no idea what was even going on. He's like, I thought this was a hunting accident. There was not anything tying him to the murder. He was genuine. So, police could not, arrest him or anything because there was no evidence against him for this. So, Tammy's sister, Kim, went to the police. And she said, and she told Randy about this first, and Randy's like, you better get to the police, So, and I think he even went with her. But she told police that Charlie, of course, was the one who did it because she wanted to talk to Charlie about everything. So she called him and she asked him, flat out just asked him. He didn't say he killed Larry, but he basically told her that he didn't like that Tammy was living with another guy already. And he is really upset with her because she won't talk to him. Tammy won't talk to him. Then he said, look what she made me do. So Kim asked him what it was that Tammy made him do, and he hung up on her. So, oh boy, there's a red flag right there. Well, then police went after him. They found him at a gas station. They brought him in for an interview. And it got to where Charlie started crying and breaking down. And he confessed. He said he was in love with Tammy, and she felt the same way about him. She told Charlie she would show him how much she loved him. Charlie said Tammy never wanted to save her marriage. So Larry was blindsided about this, about her having the full-fledged affair with Charlie the entire time. She told him she loved him, but couldn't get a divorce because her kids would be taken away from her. So, and I don't know how she knew that, because I know here, at least in Illinois, it doesn't matter how many affairs you have. It does not matter. Your kids are not taken away from you. I don't know how it is in Missouri, but She was the one who came up with the murder plans. Now, this is Charlie's story. So, Charlie said she was the one that came up with the murder plans. And then Charlie could move in with her and the kids and just replace Larry just like that. And Charlie told police he did try to shoot Larry once when he was hunting, when Larry was hunting with Randy, and he missed. So the bullet that whizzed by his head was for him. And he missed, and when he told Tammy about it, she got so mad. She quit. She wouldn't talk to him for a few days. She got so mad at him. Then they came up with a different plan, or she did. She's like, he's supposed to be hunting at this field. He goes out, like I said, he goes out and scouts places first before he goes hunting. So she knew right where he was going to be and about what time, time range or whatever, So it was not far from the chemical plant where he worked. Now, that day, their son Josh was going to go hunting with them, with Randy and Larry. And Larry told him, no, you can't go hunting. You just stay home. I don't know if that would have been a good thing or a bad thing. Josh could have actually been killed. Or if he would have went, Tammy would have probably told Charlie, if Tammy was involved, this can't happen, with my son there. But anyway, it's just horrible. So after Charlie killed him, he called Tammy, and she told him they cannot be together for a few weeks after the murder because people might get suspicious. Just like what I said about moving the guy in. So he's like, okay. So they won't come in contact with each other. Maybe talk on the phone or that, but he's not going to go over there. Well, he was trying to call her. Now, I don't know if this was before the few weeks supposedly were up, but she was not returning his calls. And she actually changed her number. She didn't want anything to do with him. So Charlie fell for all of this. I'm not excusing him because, no, he should not have done this. What an idiot, killing his best friend. All crazy over this woman. It's like, so Charlie was charged with first-degree murder. Tammy was charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Of course, she said she never had an affair with Charlie. He's lying about the whole thing. Now, back then, cell phones were fairly new, but they were growing, and police found all kinds of phone calls between those two on their phone records. So they knew something was going up or going on up until the murder because they were always talking to each other. Charlie testified in court about Tammy's involvement. So I do believe... he testified in court. I do believe that she was involved. He looked bad to the jury, though, for lying to police. All the things that he'd done. And her defense made it sound like this was all in Charlie's head. The affair, infatuation. He was just so infatuated with her. This was all in his head. So, excuse me. Sentencing, if I can say that word, was in 2003. They actually let Tammy plead the Alford plea. It was a deal they made with her. Now, the Alford plea is supposed to be, in my opinion, this is what I think. I know this isn't this is really, to me, is what it should be. If you are proven... really proven not to have anything to do with the murder, but she really wasn't proven. Her innocence was not proven. Her guilty was not actually, if you want to count the phone records and everything that people were saying, but she was able to plea that Alford plea. Now, the West Memphis 3 was able to do that, to change their plea to guilty. Basically, they say they did not do this, but they're changing their plea to get a lighter sentence or to get out of prison. And West Memphis 3 definitely had the right to do that. they were proven by DNA that somebody else had killed those kids. And if that went through, and they decided to do that, they were able to plead the Alford plea. So she got to do that and was sentenced to 7 years. She's saying she did not do it, but I'll go ahead and plead guilty because I'm afraid of that the jury's going to send me away. Charlie got 25 years. Tammy was released in 2009. She moved back to Festus, Missouri. But her son Josh cut all contact with her. I don't know about her daughter, but he cut off all contact with her. She still maintains her innocence till this day. And Charlie Miller is scheduled to be released in 2028. So that's coming up for him. And if his age was correct at 47 years old, now I think 47, when I had his age there at the beginning, Charlie Miller was 47 when all this happened. So that's why in my thinking, I was like, was he 47 when she met him? No, because it was 47 years old he was when he killed Larry. So they were only together 14 years. Let's see. Well, they were married 12 years. So, gosh. So, yeah, that would put him probably, in his 30s. When Tammy married Larry. But what a story. It's like, are you kidding me? Like I said, I don't know. People are just crazy. They're crazy. But anyway. That is all for today. I don't think I have any other news. I am watching that show on Peacock, that series called All Her Fault. Oh boy. Okay, I've only watched like 2 episodes, but it is so good. Very, very good so far. I don't know if anybody else has watched it, but it is very good. They have the new John Wayne Gacy one too. I got to go back to watching that. I stopped and then but I got to go back to watching that one. So that's really what I'm watching right now. I am reading the book on the Villisca axe murders. When I went there, they on my vacation, the staff at the murder house recommended some books because I was looking for some books in the gift shop, and they recommended one. They didn't have any books, but they have the titles to look online. Fiend Incarnate, and you really find out more facts about this case. For example, it was 3 pounds of bacon, not 2, which is what I was reading about online before I did the episode. It's episode number 97. It was 3 pounds of bacon, and it was all wrapped up, and it was in the first bedroom, which is where the 2 Stillinger girls were murdered. That's where it was. So and the axe was in that room too, and I was thinking for some reason that the bacon was on the kitchen floor. I don't know why I thought that, but it was in the bedroom, and it talks about not that the killer actually masturbated in the bacon, but that this person had to be sexually aroused because of the way one of the Stillinger girls was posed. The one they thought she had woken up because she had slid down the bed. So they thought she had woken up during the attack. And the way she was posed with her legs and genitalia showing and everything. Forensics said, well, back then, I say forensics, but this was 1912, showed that there was no rapes, there was no sexual assaults at all in the attack. But he had to take care of his sexual urge, and it hinted around in this book, right? I'm not very far into it yet, but that's what it said. So that's why I'm thinking that that's what the bacon was used for. Now, it was all the way wrapped up in the towel, though. Like, you couldn't even, of course, maybe he did it and then wrapped it back up in the towel. That's what I'm thinking he did. My question is, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just throw it away? Now, I don't know if they actually had garbage cans. I'm thinking they did. I don't know. When I was in the house, I don't remember seeing a garbage can. The house has no bathroom because back then they didn't have indoor plumbing, so they had no bathroom. But it's just odd. I mean, he left all kinds of evidence around there, but oh, it's just the strangest story. Just the strangest story. And this book really, I mean, this is highly, highly recommended. I found it on, now it's soft cover. They got it on Amazon. I got it on thriftbooks.com, and it's all about the same price I found on both sites. But it's about $25, but it's thick. So it's soft cover. And let me see, how many pages is it? It's close to 400 pages. There's some maps in the back of it I really like, that shows the house and the neighborhood and all of that. So it is a very, very interesting book so far. And I'm on page 57. Lots of pictures in it of the people around the town. It's just a very, very good book so far. So they did really good with their recommendation for that because it is very good. If you're in or around Villisca, Iowa, I recommend going to the house. It's really cool. You can walk through it for free without actually going on a tour with the tour guide. You can just walk through it for free during open hours. And but I do recommend, it's almost we're not far from Nebraska, so it's on that side of Iowa. But anyway, that's what I'm reading right now. I want to get into some Christmas mysteries, so I have quite a few here at home that I want to get started reading, because when I'm on Thrift Books, I get points and then I get free books, and now it's got like, I got some Christmas books I need to read, Christmas mysteries. And so anyway, if anybody has any suggestions for any cases you want me to cover, please let me know. It does not have to be in the Midwest. Please let me know. My Patreon is 3 bonus episodes a month for the $5 tier, 1 bonus episode a month for the $3 tier. And you also get the early access episodes. And you also get my coffee chat, my 2 cents coffee chat, which I tell a lot about what's going on with me right now. And I'm getting ready to do another one of those soon because I have quite a bit that's going on at the moment. And I like to share some of the things that go on with me on there. And so that's all for today. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everybody. Stay safe, eat, drink, and be merry. And I will see you next time.